Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Friday's Market Wrap-Up. The headline, other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play? What an incredible week, folks, and what a difference a day, an hour, a minute makes in a market this tactical. I am going to lead with a tactical kind of breaking news, so to speak, since Raytheon is one of our sector picks there in our in the defense industry. This is not good news. So let's just hop in our time machine and go backwards. Defense stocks at record highs on Trump-Saudi deal. This is in trouble. If you haven't been following the news, there is some really bad stuff going on. So the Saudi Arabia, there was not an exile, but a guy who used to be a friend of the Saudi Arabian Khashoggi was kind of a friend of the crown and then left. And who did he write for? Like the Washington Post or somebody? He actually wrote a column and has been quite critical of the Saudi crown prince lately, the kingdom and everything. He was lured into the Turkish consulate in Istanbul, and a Saudi Arabian hit squad killed the dude and dismembered him. Now, first of all, that's horrific. And second of all, even Lindsey Graham, Republican come lately, has said, if the Saudis did this, we might pull that defense contract. If you are in Raytheon, man, keep an eye on this. Or if anything, this is bear call spread on Raytheon. The president's backed into a corner. They did it. There's two Saudi Arabian G5, G6 airplanes full of 15 dudes landed, 24 hours apart. The Turkish have video of this hit squad going in there. They have video of the dude going in there, and they don't have a video of the guy ever leaving. It's gruesome. Is what I'm hearing. And I'm hearing from buddies who work in a big building up north that has 5 sides that the president's screwed because he's buddies with the crown prince. Donald Trump Jr. is buddies with the crown prince. They've picked up the phone and said, hey, man, are you kidding me? And, of course, the Saudis are saying what? Until they're blue in the face, they didn't do anything. They're lying. So this defense deal, how big was this thing, man? I don't remember how big. $110 billion defense bill. The president, if he does not, he was slow on this. And guys, I love how people call me a Trump supporter. I criticize everybody when they're wrong. I criticize me when I'm wrong. The president looked like an idiot earlier in the week. Maybe I heard of it or don't know what's going on. Whatever. Next day, a little troubling. Now he's like, oh my God, we're really going to, I strenuously object to this. The only real stick the president can hit Saudi Arabia with is to pull this defense deal or pause it. And I'm telling you, when Lindsey Graham, like I said, Republican come lately, says if this is true, a lot of bad's going to happen to Saudi Arabia. That's not good. So folks, listen to me. Here's a potential bearish trade. I just just had a great coaching call with Clay up there in Indy, and we looked at a 195, 197.5 bear call spread out to next week. This will be, along with the market swoon here, this will be a topic of discussion on the Sunday talk shows, folks. So be careful of the defense stocks right now, and if anything, short the shit out of them, because what's Trump going to do? I believe the Saudi Arabian prince said nothing happened. The dude didn't evaporate, and nobody's seen him since. He went in that building. They have footage of him. They have footage of these Saudi Arabians arriving from the consulate. 15 dudes that don't look too friendly, and it looks like a James Bond hit, folks. And it's disgusting. They apparently dismembered him and tore his body apart and carried it out in little bags. So there you go. Going to lead with that. However, and the market whisperer just got trouted out again. Larry Kudlow, bless his heart, God love him, just got ripped apart all over the CNBC halftime show, and now the Dow is down. We were up north of 400 points. Now we're up at about 60. We'll end up negative here, guys. And like I said, got off an earlier coaching call. Got to get long some SDS here, folks. SDS, the ProShares Ultra Short. I would go out to next Friday, man. Next Friday or October 26th and buy some deep in the money 80 Delta calls right here as some Tredge insurance. What's that? The 35s. I take a look at buying some of these calls, putting them in my filing cabinet, and forgetting about them. Here's why: we're in a buying. This is a make or break moment. I predicted, hey, if we smash through the the 50-day moving average here with any airspeed. This is no man's land. Remember, I said this 3 times this week. This is trench warfare between the 50-day moving average and the 200-day. Nobody hangs out in here. World War I, it was called no man's land, right? I said if we break the 50-day with any airspeed, we're going to the 200-day. And now, yesterday, we broke the 200-day with some airspeed. We are trying desperately to hang on to this 200-day moving average. If we don't today, and it's an ugly weekend, the talk shows, Saudi Arabia, the Fed, we're heading lower, and there is no bottom. I can tell you what I know about this and this. I haven't seen one of these break the 200-day with some serious airspeed. Back here in April, May, we had a little bit of a plum and then a little bit of a break, and then we bounced really hard with a rip-your-face-off rally. I got to be honest with you, I expected more out of today. Jamie Dimon, the CEO, the earnings of Citi, Wells Fargo, and J.P. Morgan. Jamie Dimon had every opportunity today to stick it to Trump and be like, earnings sucked, or earnings were good, but the future's looking horrible because of trade tensions. He didn't. Actually, some bullish financial earnings, folks, and I expected a little bit more out of the market. So this is looking like a little bit of a dead cat bounce, folks. So like I said, SDS would be some good insurance to have on here. Probably these 35 calls. But also remember, folks, to keep some powder dry. If we do go lower, we should be. I've been talking to private coaching clients about scooping Amazon up. Right now, I would not be doing any front month spreads, bull put spreads on Amazon. There is no bottom in these tech stocks, guys. It's over with. See what happened was it yesterday, last night, whenever Facebook deleted millions of accounts. Or some of them they said were bogus, and the rest were what? Conservative accounts. Tech stocks, done. This is, earlier in the week, I said this is a ledge for Amazon. Do not get bullish on Amazon. Thank God, who was it, John or Kirk or somebody's like, hey, Wiz, I'm looking at a bull put spread out to next week. It's just so juicy. I'm like, the options market is incredibly efficient, folks. If you're looking at some phenomenal potential profit in a bull put spread on something, it's because the market's telling you, hey, man, there's a great possibility you get kicked in the teeth. And if you don't, we'll pay you for it. Thank God. I'm trading nothing front month on Amazon. Personally, I know somebody who's selling some upside calls against some longs and stuff like that. Do not get bullish on Amazon in the front months. I told you a week and a half to 2 weeks ago as this happened. Actually, 2 weeks ago, I said what? Front month popcorn, baby, on Amazon. It's acting like all the other techs. In the future, it won't be. A year, 2, 3 years from now, it'll be a $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 stock. But right now, and we really do need to get something done with China. I told you earlier in the week that the president kind of winked and nodded at the camera type of thing when he said, if Republicans aren't energized about what happened to Kavanaugh, maybe a trade deal will motivate him to vote. Meaning the guy knows he can pick up the phone, call President Z, or even lie to the cameras and say he called President Z and, you know what, we're going to figure it out. Trade deal, not too far off. Earlier in the week, he said what? When he was patting Nikki Haley on the head for doing a great job as UN ambassador and leaving, he said that morning, somebody asked about a trade deal with China, and he said, forget it. We're not even talking to them. They're not ready. Oof. And then what happened by the afternoon as the market imploded? He said, well, maybe people get energized by a trade deal. My spirit animal, Jeffrey Gunlock, predicted Trump's victory after I did, predicted the FANG implosion after I did. And then I said the same thing. The president, absolutely. The president owns this on the way up, right? Tweets, nobody does markets like me, record highs, look at me, I'm awesome. He owns this to the downside. I know he owns this, but guess what? He's trying to make somebody else own it. Shocker. The Fed head. Ladies and gentlemen, Barack Hussein Obama had near zero, I'd say negative interest rates. And he had a Fed with Ben Bernanke who was pumping $85 billion a month into the market. How can you not have a market that goes up? What's happening right now is the Fed's talking about cranking up interest rates seriously and doing what? They're unwinding that balance sheet that they built up under Barack Hussein Obama. So the Fed's kind of doing, you want to know why this market's going down? It's exactly right. Trump isn't crazy like a fox. He's right. He's right to call the Fed crazy. What are you guys, nuts? You're raising interest rates as you're unwinding your balance sheet? What are you, stupid? I wouldn't do this as a businessman. So I get it. Don't talk about the Fed like that. They're independent. President can talk about whoever the hell he wants to, however the hell he wants to. Whether you agree with it or not, it's up to you. And if you don't want to listen to him, don't listen. But the man's right. The Fed cranking up interest rates right now as we're having a strong recovery is not good, as they're unwinding their balance sheet. And we don't have a trade deal with China. And we both have global thermonuclear options here. What could we do? The president could label China a currency manipulator. What could China do? Dump every U.S. Treasury, pick up the phone and say, Donald, we want our money back. We got buddies like Japan that would pick up the slack, maybe. But folks, this is, and as I said, FXI, it's most likely going to get worse before it gets better. A little bit of a recovery out of Asian stocks on this, but tonight and on Sunday night when their markets open, this thing's heading lower. FXI is heading lower, as I've predicted. We've been doing some bearish double verticals and doing some good work. So kind of not good right now. The market's struggling to regain ground. That's why I would take a look at those SDS calls, Sierra Delta Sierra. It's the ProShares ultra short S&P 500 as a little bit of what I call a trade. It's a trade. You want to make money on a trade, right? A hedge, I hope I lose money. All right, hold on a second. That dude just said he hopes. Yeah. I hope I don't have to use my USAA auto, home, and life insurance. But if I do, I'm glad I have it. So again, my short-term trade would be looking at buying some SDS 80 Delta calls out a week or two, and then I'd get ready to pound Raytheon into the dirt. We are going to get some bad news about the Saudi Arabian arms deal. $110 billion. Folks, one of the reasons Raytheon stock is up this high is what? That's kind of baked in, and Raytheon's down right now. So this is a good looking trade. I might send out an urgent alert on this. I'm not even going to get into oil right now. Oh, here it is. Facebook purges over 800 accounts with millions of followers. Prominent conservatives vanish. You want to talk about interference in an election? It's freaking limousine liberal tech companies. That's who's doing it, right? Google this week pulls out of the race for $1 billion Pentagon defense contract. Why? Because the Pentagon doesn't agree. Our Google values aren't aligned with the Pentagon's. You can kiss my ass. So Google is in bed with the Chinese government to spy and block and this and that and all sorts of stuff, but their values aren't aligned. Their values aren't aligned with the American government. They're aligned with the Chinese government. Are you people high? Do not invest in any of these tech stock, folks. Facebook, Google, Twitter, their day of reckoning has come and is going to come again. The chickens are going to come home to roost. I've been right on this, folks, and I would pound these things into the dirt. Talk about un-American and interfering in an election. Twitter, awful company, Twitter, put James Woods, the actor, conservative actor, they put him in the penalty box for 2 weeks because he published a funny meme about Democrats. Are you shitting me? So, folks, the government, Donald J. Trump's going to jump in here with both feet and start regulating this shit. That makes my skin crawl as a former Republican and a current libertarian. But guess what? These are now public services. What about your phone or cable company? What if they only showed you liberal content or only allowed you to dial to liberal, outbound phone calls? That's why those services are regulated, right? So don't give me any of this. Well, this is free market stuff. This is new market stuff, folks. Twitter, if it's going to claim to be the public square, can't section off half the public square and say, you people shut up. It's ridiculous. All these limousine liberals that claim to be free speech and Berkeley, the birthplace of free speech, they're a bunch of hypocrites. Can't stand hypocrite people, especially liberal ones. So, all right, guys, that's my rant. Get some SDS on. Sierra Delta Sierra. Get some SDS on. I want to be wrong, guys. I want these calls to go out worthless in a couple weeks and go, well, Wiz, that was stupid. No, it wasn't. Because if the market does recover and we start seeing a rip your face off rally, great. Then these serve their purpose as a little bit of an ejection seat. But if in 2 weeks we've broken through this 200-day moving average and we are heading down with no bottom, those things will be 3, 4, 5 up, up 500-600% easily, and taking some of the sting out of the losses in our longs. But remember, folks, and let me leave you with this parting comment. If over the past 2-3 days you've been panicked, you feel, or you're, it's just this hasn't been good, you're trading wrong, or your size is way off. Seriously, folks, and I'm begging you, just especially in this market volatility, don't fly around this market alone. At least for the next 2 weeks, get into Top Gun options and take a 2-week test flight. Just go to our homepage here, or actually, I'll just give you the link. Go to the homepage and click on this Full Throttle Max box down here for $38. I'm going out tonight having a great time. We had a blast this week trading. If you didn't have fun trading this, or you're not having fun right now, I feel bad for you. Spend the $38 for a 2-week trial into Top Gun options. I guarantee you're going to have fun. We put on bearish trades on volatility out the next Friday. I put one on yesterday afternoon personally, closed it right at the open. Real quick sniper shot. That was beautiful. And that's what we're going to have to do with volatility. So do me a favor, head to go.topgunoptions.com/goflight. Just like Apollo 13. Go for flight, not First Man. A movie with a Canadian actor and a French director that admits us planting the U.S. flag on the moon. Hey, Ryan Gosling, that ain't no UN flag on the moon up there, Cupcake. But anyway, folks, head to go.topgunoptions.com/goflight, and for $38, you can trade with us for the next 2 weeks, guys. This is not the market to be trading solo, we're having a good time. Like I said, if you're panicked or you lost a lot of money or holy shit, what's going on, Wiz, you're doing it wrong. We love stuff like this, folks. As an American, I get it. Oh man, that sucks. And people's 401ks are, as a Gordon Gekko trader, I absolutely love this volatility. This is a target-rich environment for options traders. So if you're feeling a little squirrely with all this stuff, you're not in our squadron. You shouldn't feel squirrely, okay? All right, so head to go.topgunoptions.com/goflight. Take a look at maybe pounding Raytheon and getting short Raytheon, guys. Donald Trump is painted into a corner, and he's either got to pull that $110 billion defense bill with Saudi Arabia, or he's going to look like he's cozying up to the Saudis. 15 out of 19 hijackers committed the biggest surprise attack on this country since Pearl Harbor. Don't even get me started about the Saudi Arabians. I lived in Riyadh for 3 months, stationed right outside of Riyadh. Don't get me started on Saudi Arabia, man. They ain't our buddies. I get the enemy, my enemy's my friend, or however that shit works. But Trump's screwed, man, and he's got to do something with that defense contract. Raytheon's heading lower, and I would pound it into the dirt. This is actually a bearish double vertical candidate. You don't know what a bearish double vertical is? Cue the trial. Get in here. I'm going to teach you how to do a bearish double vertical. Okay? All right, guys. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see the rest of my coaching clients this afternoon and go to training. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge. God bless. And if you take a trial, you'll see me Monday afternoon at 1 o'clock in our weekly options live trade brief, where we're going to be talking about volatility. And the Dow just turned negative, man. So I'm gonna get offline here and start taking some shots of opportunity. Okay? God bless. Have a good weekend. We'll see you.